on a night where all out produced a turnabout, and playing well was the best revenge. Rangers with a rally in Raleigh, and they beat the Hurricanes on their home ice 2-1 the final. Inside our Delta MSG studios, John Giannone alongside Steve Valiquette. Boy, after the first period, you never would have thought it would have ended up this way when the shots were way imbalanced. Rangers barely even attempted any, and in the end, they scored more.
Yeah, it just goes to show you when you're playing against Carolina, you have to weather the storm, and part of that storm is just a volume of shots that you have to cleanly get and then get out of your zone. And that recovery in that period was really what set them up for periods 2 and 3. I think the takeaway for me is that you've got only 4 games left in this regular season against playoff-bound teams, and you just played against the best defensive team in the league. Carolina allows the fewest high-danger chances against and the fewest high-danger chances against in their D zone. They're hard to get inside against. The Rangers got inside twice with the east to west pass and scored, and that's who the Rangers are. They can execute on their chances because they have so much skill. It's just a matter of them being patient enough and disciplined enough for long enough to be able to outweight their opponent, especially with Carolina that cannot match the skill level that New York has.
And to see a specific player play as well as he did tonight in what was a playoff intensity, a playoff style, a playoff preview. Artemi Panarin was the star of the game for the Rangers. He had a goal and an assist. Remember, the last time he was in this building, he had 4 goals in 21 minutes. Didn't do as much tonight, but certainly did more than enough to help them win.
Well, I think that Panarin, and let's talk about Trocheck, and let's talk about Tarasenko and Kane. They're all pieces to complement him, to get him inside, because this is where the Rangers were last year. Very difficult series against Carolina and a very difficult Eastern Conference final against Tampa Bay, and now he's coming up big. And the size of this game for him, you know this is going to help his confidence because he spent the night between the dots, either as a passer or as a shooter. And this is going to help him, John. This is a building game for him. He's had 2 against Carolina like this year, but this is what he's paid for. Get Fox inside for the goal. He has to get his teammates there because of his skill level. He's the 2nd highest paid player in the NHL for a reason. He has that level of skill. And the goal. His goal here is skating into the teeth of the defenseman and then releasing. So he's finding ways. He's finding ways to send that false information and then get himself open and open up passes for himself, not just as the playmaker, but as a receiver. So now he's got that double threat, and it's hard to cover him when he's playing at that level with that intensity. He was focused and intense that entire game.
Yeah, now Panarin with 82 points on the season. He leads the team, and he assisted on the game winner, which was scored by Adam Fox. And as Sam pointed out during the broadcast, his first goal in 25 games dating back 2 months, let's see, to the day against the Florida Panthers. We're going to go inside the film room presented by CDW and HP. And we're going to take a look at exactly how this sea parted for that pass and the goal.
Well, I thought that Zibanejad had a terrific night as a defenseman, hitting the defensive side of the puck. And what he did here was he had a really big hit in the neutral zone. And what happens with Zibanejad when he tracks people through the neutral zone, it seems like he's always in the right position. He's above the puck. He's the first man back that can make that D to Fox, but it allows him to get speed now. So if you keep your eye on Mika as Fox takes the turn, there's 2 that they have to beat, and Panarin opens up for it. But the big play here is on the entry. Now, when Zibanejad gets over the blue line, he opens up what is a 3-on-2, and Tarasenko takes his man to the net. And when he does that, that opens up this lane for Fox. Opening up that lane on a 3-on-2 for your defenseman when he activates. And take a look here. Right now, you can see that Frederik Andersen was on his way down to the ice before the puck even came off Fox's stick. So he completely had him fooled. I think that Carolina, that typically handles those off-the-rush chances really well, they just didn't have an answer for the Rangers, not just the skill level, but the deception they had when they were coming over the blue line.
And you saw the point from Adam Fox to Artemi Panarin, acknowledging the pass. Now 11 goals for Fox, 65 points on the season. And it was all in support of Igor Shesterkin, who again left further signs that he is very playoff ready. A terrific game for him, a phenomenal first period, which ended only 1-0 when it could have been a whole lot worse at 12-3 with a shot advantage. Don't look now, but Shesterkin has 33 wins. Linus Ullmark, who is a shoo-in for the Vezina, has only 35.
Interesting. See, that's part of the workload and how much the Rangers depend on him. The one thing that really stood out in this game for me with Igor was that he knows that Carolina is a shoot-first team, and he has to face them one-on-one a lot. So he's aggressive, and he started right there on the breakaway with his left pad getting over the post. That's a good way to close. But you'll see a lot of his saves here where his pads end up in the white ice. So he's aggressive because he knows they're an open shot team, and there's not a lot of east to west in Carolina's game. You can see the play here, though, which he is back for because he read it. So this was his biggest save of the game, and it was on Puljujarvi, but it was an east to west that he was ready for. He wasn't in the white ice. He backed up to the blue, but then you can see he's back out into the white ice when he had to. So his reads on when to advance and to be aggressive versus when it was best to stay back and be patient, I thought he did a really good job of being able to differentiate between those two.
So Shesterkin stands tall, especially in the third period. And I think it's worth noting at that 24 minutes and 17 seconds that he played without his partner Ryan Lindgren, who announced just before the game that he wasn't quite ready to go tonight after tweaking the upper body injury in the last game on Tuesday. That alone deserves some kudos for him to be able to fight through that.
Because of the mental preparation, John, you're always thinking about what types of situations you're going to be in before the hockey game and how your partner is going to hinge or help you. And as we know, Lindgren is oftentimes the safety valve for Adam Fox when he jumps up into the play. So to have a partner change just before game time, that's no easy task. So for him to have his best all-around game in a couple of weeks, I think that says a lot about his mental toughness. And we know about the skill level. We know about the way that he's able to jump into the play. But I thought he added a lot of value when he was jumping in for offense. And he had a lot of times with puck on his stick where he was able to get out of traffic and be able to make a play and then free himself up for a goal just like this, where he joins, adds value, shoots the puck in the upper part of the net when the goalie's down early. So to me, he actually read really well off the goaltender on where to shoot. There's a lot of steps that he took in this hockey game to help this team. And, like, check this out. This Carolina teams, they've lost 16 games all year, 3 to the Rangers. I mean, that says a lot about the leadership group and what everybody was able to muster in this one.
Yeah, and a tip of the cap to Nico Mikkola, who stepped back up into that first D pair spot with Fox, played 19 and a half minutes, and the Rangers only allowed 1 goal.